おはようございます。こんにちは、こんばんは。
21日発売のホライゾンはしないんだっけ？
したいんだけどシリーズ増え続けてるから垂れ流しだとしてもエンコード時間だけでとんでもない時間かかりそうだからな。このトレーラー見て面白そうは思いましたがこれだいぶ前のゲームだしな。PC 版のメリットって全部エリート画質だけど、ドグマ2の方が注目されそうだしな。これもグリーンマンゲーミングで安く買えるけど。はいってことで本編スタート。読み込みカットしてますが、第2章から読み込み遅くなってます。
Greetings.
会話ないか。
The shadows are cruel. It would take a miracle for Arabella's mother and father to survive them. Lucky for us, we've got a knack for miracles. Let's reunite the girl with her mother and father. She deserves that much. Because there's nothing to tell. She died when I was born. As a boy, my bond with father was too deep to miss the mother I never had. Now, well, I'd be lying if I said I'd never thought about my mother. What life would have been like if she'd lived? Maybe I'd be living in the city. Maybe I'd never have been forced into this cursed pact. But there's no use lingering on maybes. My mind is on the stories of today and tomorrow, not those of yesterday. Then we know our mission. All roads converge at moonrise. We can't and we won't. The shadows be damned.
Soldier? We were both part of Zariel's inner circle. Her by choice, me by force. In the grand scheme of things, I'm inconsequential to Zariel. Sure, I've got the engine, but I wasn't even her strongest fighter. She favored me like a child favors a captive pet. Mizoora envied the attention, I suppose. I'm sure when Zariel gave her the order to hunt me down, Mizoora was delighted. I don't know. You'd think she'd have more important things to do. Devils and their pride. No kidding. The fighting, the chaos, the betrayal. It had the makings of a good stage show, but I did not want to be one of the players.
デビルは倒すことになるんだろうか。
Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about? Wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember the devils slavering with delight. I should have looked after the Elterans more. Gone out of my way to make sure they were all right. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my neck. I let them get on with the nightmare, same as I had to. But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad.
ソウルコインについて。
It's not that I want to collect them, per se. It's just that if we should happen upon them, I can use them in battle to fire up my engine. Evil's evil, but it can be put to good use. Sometimes. Maybe. Right?
What's on your mind? She expects those who seek to use the weave to do so honestly, and with respect for its potential to destroy, as well as its potential to save. I doubt she's asked many of her followers to blow themselves up. That's a fate she's bequeathed exclusively to me. She wouldn't ask such a thing if it weren't our only means of survival. However much she's annoyed at me. Oh, you know me, ever the optimist. I'm trying to focus on the positives. Truth is, I was living on borrowed time already. Consuming those items would only have kept the orb sated for so long. If anything, I feel more at peace than I have in months. At least now I know my death will have purpose. It won't be a distant bang in the footnotes of history. I've no doubt she has the power to do so, but as for the permission, Ao would not look kindly on her meddling in mortal affairs. Divine intervention has a tendency to make things worse, not better. As for Elminster, he saved the realms more times than legend can recount. But to take on a god is no easy feat, even for him. My orb is the best chance we have. And only I can wield it. Ah, yes. Karsus.
お初めて聞くや
Karsus
つ
was
か。
perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic.
自分で考案して。
Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more.
バルスの
An
誕
event
生
that
か
came to be known as Karsus's folly. For a spell, Mistral was reborn as Mistra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition.
へえ、なかなか面
It's the
白
way
い。
things go.
これどう落ち着くんだろう。
I know what it is to hunger. And I know what it takes to keep that hunger under control. He's done that so far, despite his condition. So long as he sates his appetite elsewhere, I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, hello. What can I do for you? I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador. Figuring out what's happening to us, confronting a god called the Absolute, and then finding time to kill my old master before he can control me once more? Yes, that's an option, but I wouldn't bet eternity on it.
戦う気はないのか。
Greetings.
レイゼルの話なんでないんだろう。
Hope you're keeping well, friend.
あかんな、アウルベアだけシャドウハートが話しよる。
Camp life seems to suit the young owlbear.
これ聞い
His
たわ。
coat of feathers seems fuller. His eyes look bright and inquisitive.
アラベッタなんでこっちにいるんだ。
Hey you. I made it. Easy peasy. You find Mum and Pops? Well hurry. They gotta be somewhere. and I don't want them worrying. Then I'll teach you to conjure those vines. So, what were you before you were this?
There is no before.
会話あるんだ。
Been a bone man.
In a sense.
全員と会話終わったんで寝ます。大政に話してたところに現れた。
Playtime's over, pet. Ah, I love this time of year. The dickheads start popping up wherever you look.
What do you want, Mizora?
Drop the attitude and perk up your ears. You've got a new mission. Absolute's cult has gone and grabbed one of Zariel's assets. A devil. And a powerful one at that. They're locked up in the cult's fortress, Moonrise Towers. And you're getting him out.
デビルが捕まった?
Well, your playmate's wasting precious time. Let's see about getting her priorities fixed. Clause Z, Section 13. Should promised soul refuse obeyance or neglect duty, the pact holder shall cast the promised into Avernus as a lemure. I'll make it simple.
ようやく助かる。
Will fails or refuses, and he turns to a thick blob of stink flesh and sinks to Avernus. Now, be a good boy and play fetch, pup, or you'll spend an eternity sizzling in the hells.
Mizora's words may be flippant, but they are tinged with desperation. She cannot afford for Will to fail this mission. This may be your best chance to negotiate Will out of his pact.
おっとウィルの契約解消ができると。
Oh, and what condition is that?
Your mind links with Will's, drawn in by his increasing panic.
What are you doing?
ウィルを解放しろ。そして貴様だけ朽ちていけ。なこと書いてないだろ。
A doubtful Will catches his breath, but says nothing. And your connection fades.
Interesting. Now, why should I go letting my favorite pet off his leash?
パラディンだからやつが一番いいのか。おうしうまくいった。ミスったらインスピレーション使おうとしてたのに。
Actually think you hold the winning hand. Fine. I'll play your game. But I amend the pact once the mission's done. Not before.
ミゾーラのレベル20なんかな。
Section 9. Soulbinder shall bestow reward or favor only upon soulbearer's fulfillment of related obligation. Now, to Moonrise, pet. And do you mind the shadows? They've been especially hungry.
その羽欲しいな。あれ会話するん増えたか。
You know, I feel a connection between us. Like we're two souls walking the same path. You might be a little naive in the ways of the world, but I see promise in you.
何のことだ。
Ambition. Just that you have a big heart. You like doing what's right.
救ってきたからその反応か。
What would be the right thing to do when we get to Moonrise Towers? When we come face to face with whoever is controlling the parasites in our heads? God! Try to think outside the box just a little. Consider the parasites in our skulls, and think how many others have the mind flayers infected. Hundreds. Thousands. And they're not just goblin trash. There are powerful people in the worm's thrall. Whoever's waiting for us at Moonrise Towers controls it all. But if we can take that control from them, imagine the power we'd wield.
それが欲しくなったのか。
That's just the thing. If we control the parasites, then we can order them not to change us. All the power, with none of the tentacles. I'm just saying, there's an opportunity here. If we can control the tadpoles, we can keep ourselves safe. And liberate the world from this evil.
考えておくと回答しとくか。
Do. It's not often the universe hands you something like this. We'd be fools to squander it. Of course, this all assumes we live long enough to find this, moonrise. But I'm feeling optimistic.
God damn it! Why did it have to be Mizora? Why did it have to be Zariel? We're supposed to risk our necks to get one of her assets? What if it's a runaway like me? Or something far worse? I want to believe that as much as you do. Almost as much as Will does. But I just know there will be more to the story. There always is. It's a bad idea to play games with the devil. You'd never win. Not ever.
じゃあもう丸するしかないか。
The more bullshit she pours, the more of it I'm forced to swallow. Mizora set me on fiends inside and outside the Hells. She's never ordered a rescue. Gods. She makes a mockery of everything the Blade stands for. Such an asshole.
誰が捕まったんだろうな。
Not a one. All that matters is that we free.
あ、もしかして本人か？
And I made a mindless blob clawing at demons on the front lines of the Blood War.
だから焦ってたってことか。
And it means everything to me. I always knew what my future held. And I know I chose right. Thank you for sticking your neck out for me. I mean it. But I'm not going to celebrate till I'm actually free. I can feel Mizora scheming, plotting. She won't let me go without making a fuss. Trust me on that.
Greetings.
レイゼルは増えてないか。
My friend! How do you fare?
お前は変わってないな。
The voice of the Absolute is strong here, and getting stronger. I don't know how much longer I can resist it. But it's good to see you're making progress.
Oi, Beachku.
You took an unexpected route here. You did a brave thing, saving those people in the grove.
シャドウなのにライトな活動しすぎか。
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault the world is wicked. You did the right thing.
The hurt runs deeper than she's willing to show you.
Yes. Yes, I am. It just doesn't stop. We are being bombarded by waves of telepathic energy. Wave after wave with hardly a breath between them. I almost dare not rest. Each wave a set of orders to the infected. The order for your transformation has been given many times already. There is no doubt. Moonrise Towers. I just hope my powers last long enough to see this through. In any case, The Absolute knows you carry me with you now. It wants to retrieve me. I am the only one who can resist the Absolute's influence. Hence its fear of me, its desperation. Unfortunately, that also means it is dedicating more and more resources to my retrieval. The task ahead is monumental. But we're all that stands between victory for the Absolute and freedom for all. This is not just about you and I anymore. It has become far bigger than us. You must infiltrate Moonrise Towers, discover the secrets of the Absolute, and put an end to it.
我々ってお前もしかして出てくるんか?
Now I must rest. And you must carry on. Do not let my efforts be in vain.
衣装チェンジしてみました。あれこれ現代風すぎるな。
これはありえない服装だな。
こっちで行こうと思います。レイゼルはこれ。じゃなくて。これも違くて。これ現代すぎるって、色こっちのが合ってるな。カーラックはこの前の男装備で。はいってことで次回寝てる男を起こしてきます。ご視聴ありがとうございました。
お疲れ様でした。